I want to now shift to the Houston Texans. I want to specifically talk about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is one of the greatest and most dominant defensive players of all time. At least in my lifetime, he is, you know. In the last 20 years, we've seen the likes of Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Aaron Donald, DeMarcus Ware, Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman, Julius Peppers. J.J. Watt deserves a seat at that table. He's the real deal. He's had a heck of a career, and J.J. Watt is in the conversation for being one of the greatest defensive players of all time, as far as I'm concerned, like I said. And in 2012, I felt that J.J. Watt officially took the title as best defensive player in all of football, and until he got injured in early 2016, I felt that he was by far the best defensive player in the sport, and it wasn't even close. He was the best in the game. From 2012 to early 2016, J.J. Watt accumulated 61 sacks and 119 tackles for loss. That was all during a 4-year stretch. He accumulated those monstrous numbers. That's insane production, folks. And J.J. Watt, when you look at his career, he's had a 10-year career so far. He's a 5-time first-team All-Pro. He's made 5 Pro Bowls. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. He's led the NFL in sacks twice. And not to mention, he also finished second in the MVP voting in 2014 behind Aaron Rodgers. J.J. Watt, over the past couple of years, he's been one of the most valuable players in the entire NFL. He's meant the world to the Houston Texans defense and to that organization. Not to mention, J.J. Watt is still only 31 years old. He has a chance to go down as a top 10 all-time sack leader. He can definitely crack the top 10 as far as sacks all-time one day. He has fallen off a little bit, but he still is a productive player, no doubt about it, you know. I won't be shocked if he's top 10 all-time in sacks when it's all said and done. Like I just said, yeah, J.J. Watt, he's the real deal. And I really think J.J. Watt, throughout his career, has sort of flown under the radar a little bit, especially after he kind of, you know, fell off a little bit. You know, after he started becoming a little bit more injury prone. He does have the ability to play through injuries, but at times, the past couple of years, he's been banged up a little bit. You know, his body's been through a lot. But when J.J. Watt's healthy, there aren't many people that are better than him at his position. And recently, after a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals at home, in which the Houston Texans lost to Brandon Allen, of all people, it was a bad loss. The Houston Texans in 2020 have not had a great season. J.J. Watt was asked, you know, about his passion for the game and asked, you know, what keeps you motivated? Why are you still so passionate when the team is struggling? Why are you, you know, still all in when the team just obviously sucks and they're not very good? And this was J.J. Watt's answer.
If you can't come in and put work in the building, go out to the practice field and work hard, do your lifts and do what you're supposed to do, you should not be here. This is a job. We are getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of, and they care about it. They care every single week. We're in week 16 and we're 4-11, and there's fans that watch this game, that show up to the stadium, that put in time and energy and effort and care about this. So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here. Because this is a privilege. It's the greatest job in the world. You get to go out and play a game. And if you can't care enough, even in week 17, even when you're trash, when you're 4-11, if you can't care enough to go out there and give everything you've got and try your hardest, that's bullshit. So that's how. I think there are people every week that still tweet you, that still come up to you and say, hey, we're still rooting for you. We're still behind you. They have no reason whatsoever to. We stink. But they care, and they still want to win, and they still want you to be great. That's why. Those people aren't getting paid. We're getting paid handsomely. That's why. And that's who I feel the most bad for, is our fans. And the people who care so deeply in this city, and the people who love it. and who truly want it to be great, and it's not. And that sucks as a player to know that we're not giving them what they deserve.
Folks, those are the words of a championship level player. And I really hope the Houston Texans eventually turn things around. I really do hope that they become a franchise that can compete for Super Bowls, in the latter part of J.J. Watt's career, especially due to the fact that they now have Deshaun Watson. I would hate for the Houston Texans organization to waste not only J.J. Watt's career, but Deshaun Watson's career as well. I just hate missed opportunities. And I feel like that J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson both deserve to be making deep playoff runs and to be competing for Super Bowls year in and year out, because both of them are Hall of Fame level talents. Both of them are once in a lifetime players. Both of them are great leaders. Both of them are dynamic players at their position. And I just fear that Houston might be wasting their entire primes. J.J. Watt already passed his prime, so Houston, in hindsight, kind of already has wasted his prime. So listen, if I'm the Houston Texans organization and I'm looking to rebuild this team, I would hate to put J.J. Watt on the trading block just because he's so great for that locker room, but that might be in the best interest for J.J. Watt if he goes to a Kansas City or a Green Bay or maybe a New Orleans, or another team that's ready to win a Super Bowl right now. Heck, the Seattle Seahawks could definitely use J.J. Watt's services. If I'm the Houston Texans and I'm thinking about trading J.J. Watt, I would bring in J.J. Watt and I say, hey, man, listen, you've done great things for our franchise. What are some of the teams you're interested in? We're thinking about trading you away. What are some of the teams you'd like to go to? Because J.J. Watt deserves to win a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, Deshaun Watson's kind of stuck there because he took that long-term contract, and quarterbacks with the franchise tag, they can't virtually go anywhere. But yeah, J.J. Watt, we're not talking about Deshaun Watson. We're talking about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, he's one of the best football players of my lifetime, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. He definitely deserves to be praised a lot more. In my opinion, I definitely think that his career has sort of flown under the radar, like I said, over the past couple of years. And J.J. Watt, for my money, is one of the best defensive players in NFL history. No doubt about it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.